Hello third graders, welcome to our math class. Today we're going to start a U unit in math. But before I jump right into my lesson, I'd like to talk about the mystery items that I shared last week. So I've been hearing a lot of answers from students saying that the first item, this one right here, some students said this one looks like a charger, or some students said it looks like a keyring or a battery. However, here is the answer to my first mystery item. Let's take a look at this video.
To 2.0. First up on our list is a gadget that's sure to delight amateur meteorologists and tech enthusiasts alike. The WeatherPoint 2.0 is a miniature weather station so small that it can be carried around on a key ring. Smartphones are great for a quick overview of the weather, but they're a little limited in the sensors they have to actually get real-time results. Instead, they generally receive their data from external weather stations that can be hundreds, if not thousands of miles away. The WeatherPoint 2.0 connects to your smartphone using the 3.5mm audio jack, or an adapter for that jack, to provide in-person, real-time readings of humidity, temperature, atmospheric pressure, and even UV index. You can grab all of this information and more using the free app. The durability of anything you carry around on a daily basis is very important. That's why the WeatherPoint 2.0 is totally waterproof and can be immersed underwater without fear of damage. You don't need to replace batteries or charge the WeatherPoint 2.0 at any point. It's only active when it's connected to your smartphone and is able to draw all the power it needs just from being connected.
Okay, so the first mystery item was actually a weather detector. And then when you plug this in, when you connect this with your smartphone, it tells you the humidity, the climate, and also many other information about the weather. So that's what the first item was. It's a measuring tool to tell the temperature and the climate. And the second item over here is some students guess that it might be a remote control, or some students that it's a calculator. However, the answer is the second item is it's also another measuring tool that we use to measure the distance. So this one here, there is a laser. You don't see it well. So there is a laser. So when we shoot the lasers, it detects the distance and it tells us the distance on the screen. So that's what these two mystery items were. So I hope some of you have guessed what our next unit is going to be about. And our next unit is about measurement. And for this lesson, you will need a stopwatch or an iPad. So if you have a stopwatch, then I'm going to ask you to bring that and have it by you. And if you don't have a stopwatch, don't worry, because I'm going to teach you how to use your iPad to measure the time. Because there is a stopwatch. Feature on your iPad. So let me go over how to use your stopwatch first. So when you scroll down your screen, if it's your iPad, you should be able to see a page that looks like this. And I want you to click on, some people might not have all icons, but you must have either this, I don't know if you can see it, this one, or this one, or let me go back, or this one. I'm going to ask you, I want you to use this button here to open your stopwatch. And then all you need to do is you just need to click on start button, and then it's gonna start the stopwatch, and then you just need to press stop whenever your measuring is over. So that's how simple it is. And if you don't know how to go to stopwatch like this, then my next recommendation is I want you to find this clock button, and then click on this, and then there are 4 sections: word clock, alarm, bedtime, stopwatch. I want you to find the stopwatch, and this is the reset button. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my previous slide. So this is my first question for you. Use a stopwatch. It's telling us to use a stopwatch. And the question is about how long does it take you to snap your fingers 10 times? So I'm going to open my stopwatch and I'm going to start my stopwatch and I'm going to, what's the question again? I'm going to snap my finger 10 times. So let's do it together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It took me 5 seconds. So here I'm going to write, it takes 5 seconds to snap 10 times. Next one, use a stopwatch. How long does it take to write every whole number from 0 to 25? So I'm going to go back to my stopwatch. I'm going to reset it. I'm going to start and I'm going to write whole number. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm done. Now I'm going to go back. I'm going to stop my timer and it took me 25 seconds. So I'm going to write down 25 seconds here. So I hope you understand how to use the stopwatch now. Let's go on to the next question. The table to the right shows how much it takes each of the 5 students to do 5 jumping jacks. So we have Maya, Riley, Jake, Nicholas, and Adeline. Who finished 15 jumping jacks the fastest? So when the question is asking the fastest, we need to look for the lowest number. So what is the lowest number here? I think it's 14 seconds. So I'm going to write down Jake here. Let me use pen for this. Here you go. Who finished their jumping jacks in the exact same amount of time? So we need to look for a number that occurs twice. And I see 15 and another 15. It's Riley and Nicholas. Let's look at the last question. How many seconds faster, faster did Jake finish than Adeline? So let's look at Jake. So Jake, he took 14 seconds. Adeline, she took 17 seconds. So we know that Jake is faster. But my question is, by how much? So I'm going to subtract 17. I'm going to subtract 14 from 17. And this will give me 3 seconds. And that's the answer for my last question. Let's move on to the next one. For this lesson, for this unit, we're going to be using number lines very often. So it's highly recommended that you get yourself familiar with number line. So here's my first number line. And I'm going to follow the direction to label my number line. So A, Ingrid gets ready for school between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. Label the first and last tick marks as 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. So I'm going to write 7 and 8 because that's what my first instruction was about. Label the first and the last tick. My A is done. Now let's move on to B. Each interval represents 5 minutes. Count by 5 starting at 0 or 7 a.m. Label each 5-minute interval below the number line up to 8 a.m. So it's going to be 7:05, 7:10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So do you see how I'm counting by 5? And the last one will be 55. So my B is over now. Ingrid starts getting dressed at 7:10. Plot a point on the number line to represent this time. Above the point, write D. So Ingrid, he gets ready at 7:10. He gets dressed at 7:10. So where's my 7:10? Here's my 7:10, right? So I'm going to mark my 7:10 and I'm going to label here D. Because that's what my number C is about, right? D. Let's move on to number D. Ingrid starts eating breakfast at 7:35. Plot a point on the number line to represent this time above the point, write E. So now I'm gonna mark my point E at 7:35. So here is my 7:35 and I'm gonna label it E. Let's go on to the last point. Ingrid starts brushing her teeth at 7:40. Plot a point on the number line to represent this time. Above the point, write T. So I'm gonna label my T at 7:40. And that's it for this question. Let's move on to the next question. Label every 5 minutes below the number line show. Draw a line from each clock to the point on the number line which shows each time. Not all of the clocks have matching points. Okay, so this is pretty similar to the question, the question that we just did. I'm going to label this once again. However, we got to understand that for this number line, it starts from 5 o'clock, but we are still counting this by 5. So I'm going to first label my number line. So why am I counting this by 5? It's because the instruction, it says label every 5 minutes below the number line. And now I'm going to draw a line to match the clock with the point. So let's look at the first one, 8:35. I don't see 8 here because my number line is from 5 to 6 and 8 is after 6. So there is nothing matching for this time. Next one, let's look at the second clock. I'm going to tell the time first, and it looks like it's 5:50. And I know I have 5:50 on my number line. So I'm going to draw a line like this. Next one, 5:15. 5:15 is right here. Next one, 6:10. Do I have 6:10 on my number line? No, because 6:10 is after 6 and I don't have points there. So once again, there is no matching point for this time. 5:40, right here. Next, the last clock, let's tell the time first. It's gonna be 5:25. So I'm gonna draw a line to match the clock with the points. That's how simple this question is. Let's move on. The number line below shows a math class that begins at 10 a.m. and ends at 11 a.m. Use the number line to answer the following questions. Okay, so it starts from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and there is a label saying sprints, application problem, and exit ticket. So let's look at question A. What time do sprints begin? We know that it's from 10 to 11. And then we're starting from here and then we're moving this way. That means it's here, this label point here is 10 o'clock. And then when I move 1 right, it's 10:05. And when I move 2 right, it's 10:10. Because that's where the mark is. Number B, what time do students begin the application problem? So we need to find the application problem, which is right here. And I'm going to move along my number line, and it stops at 10:20. What time do students work on the exit tickets? It's right here, this one, and this is here is my mark, and I know that it's 10:50. How long is math class. So we're going to, for this question, we're going to mark 2 points, and it's going to be sprints. The first point is sprints, and the second point is exit ticket. So the math class started from 10:10, and it ends at 10:50. And then we're looking for how long the math class is. So I'm going to use my subtraction to find the difference. So it's going to be 10:50 minus 10:10. And the answer is 40 minutes. So third graders, I hope you understand how to use a stopwatch and how to use the number line to find the time and then calculate the time. There will be an activity waiting for you on Seesaw. I hope you have spent some time solving those questions, and if you have any questions, please let us know, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye now.